It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Steve Gorman, this is the KQ Morning Show. The throats have been cleared. The coughs have been coughed. Let's get to work. Good morning. It is Tuesday, the Ides of October 15th. Whoo, baby. We got your top 5 at 6 locked and loaded, ready to roll. First things first. Number 5. Today, on this very show at 9 a.m., we're going to announce an upcoming show that is worth your time, and we're going to announce the first shot to win tickets. It's a secret till 9 a.m.
All right.
Have I baited the hook enough?
I'm very curious.
I'm curious, too. They won't even tell me. That's how much of a secret it is. We've got an announcement and tickets, ticket information at 9 a.m. It's worth your time. At number 4 on your top 5 at 6. Listen, I feel for all my brothers and sisters out there who are, that's right, addicted to ranch. You're sick. It's just ranch dip.
I know. It's so
But
good.
I understand it's not a question of willpower. It's a true addiction. And Burger King doesn't care because they are giving out tubs of ranch now at select locations starting tomorrow. The average sample, you get a little side of ketchup or ranch, or those little tubbies you open up. It's an ounce. It's an ounce. They're giving out 8-ounce tubs of ranch at Burger King's. Giving away 8 ounces, big enough you can just dip your whole whopper right into that ranch dip.
Like a apple bob in October, I just want to plunge my face in there. This is good news for Burger King customers, great news for Ozempic customers.
Yeah, it sure is. They're and by the way, this is along with Hidden Valley Ranch, so it's not like someone at BK said I could make ranch. No, they went to the source. They got Hidden Valley on track.
That's good.
There's a tracker on the Burger King website where you can find participating locations.
It's not happening in Minneapolis. I don't know how you work around the Midwest. I see it's on the coast and in Chicago, but you can go to hiddenvalley.com and order one of these tubs for $1, which takes a lot of the fun out of it.
Yeah, of course.
I often go to places and when you ask for an extra side of ranch, I just like to substitute it for my drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, instead of just pop, can you just fill the cup with ranch?
It's a problem, Zepp. If you ever want to talk about it off air, I'm here, brother.
I'll talk about it over some ranch.
Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. This is this is just heartburn in a story. A gentleman in the country of Wales. He's an IT engineer, and in 2013, he threw away a hard drive thinking he never needed it anymore. He made a pretty big mistake because there were 8,000 Bitcoins on that hard drive.
Uh-oh.
He had harvested them. I don't even know what any of this means. It's also confusing. But he thought they were worthless because at that time they were. Shortly thereafter, it blew up. It's now worth $647 million. There's a hard drive that he threw away all those years ago that if he could only find it, it's worth over $500 million. And guess what?
What?
He's trying to get the town he lives in to let him go through the landfill.
Why is the town not going through the landfill with
already?
him?
I don't have any idea.
Come on, kids. We're going out to the landfill today. Let's go back to 2013. Here's when he initially realized he had thrown away the hard drive.
As soon as I put it in the bin at home, I had a second thought. You've never thrown a hard drive out before. Why start now? Absolutely devastated, as you can imagine. I just wish I could go back in time and not throw that drive away.
So it wasn't an accident. He just, that's it. I've had it. I'm getting rid of it. Don't throw your junk away. You're a dude. You're not even married.
Threw away all his Tom Jones CDs, too.
Hey, now you stop it right there. I've been to Wales. That's a crime.
That's right.
Listen here. If you've never seen the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, what could go wrong? Spring the town loose on that dump, and let's find that hard drive.
My God, here he is more recently suing the city council for not letting him dig.
As you know, we're on a landfill site. There's a potential to find the drive. Is it still working? Can the data be recovered? When I went up to the landfill site yesterday, my first thought was, I've got no chance.
Oh, I've got no chance, I guess is how he ended that. Would you think of anything else for the rest of it? He'll take it to his effing grave.
No, not a chance. I'd love to think that, I'll just speak personally for me, not one or anybody, but me personally, Steve Gorman. I'd love to think I could shake it off and be like, that would have been great, but hey, man, the kids are healthy, and I work with people I like, and I get up. Honestly, I could manage all that, but I'd spend there's no way. I know myself. I couldn't go one day without having at least a 3-minute thought bubble of pure hell going. I could be anywhere on the planet. I could be on Elon Musk's next spaceship if I wanted. I could do anything I wanted for every day. I could just sit here and literally force people to feed me nachos all day long. Whatever. I could do anything, but no, I can't.
I'd be the old hermit out there at the landfill 30 years later. There he goes, beard down to my knees with a shovel. Yeah, he just goes out there every day and he just digs and mumbles to himself. Well, he's offering the city $50 million. He's got an excavation company lined up for $13 million, all contingent on finding this. But the city said it's going to be an environmental disaster if we dig up this landfill. It'll take 3 years to excavate it to get to a place where you think it might be, then another year to fill it back in. It's gone, man.
There is no doubt in my mind that if they did 3 years of digging and he found that hard drive and he found that it was still operational, I should say, there's no doubt in my mind he'd get hit by a bus within a week.
Fate just didn't want, the universe just did not want you to have this.
And by the way, everybody in Wales would go, yeah, well, that's about right.
Well, right about the time all this...
Not dreamers, those folks. They're hard grounded in reality.
I get it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we had talked about it. We can move on from this story, but there was also a guy that left millions on the table because he forgot his password.
Had the drive and forgot his password. That's right.
Oh, that would suck.
Oh, man. Especially when you convince yourself, I'm going to try this Bitcoin thing against all logic and reason, and then it turns out to be complete fly-by-night, some days up, some days down, and then you realize, I'm one of the few that actually got lucky, but I don't remember my password.
Kill me, please.
The password, as always, don't even try it, you bastards, followed by your birthday. It's simple. They can't get in.
Okay.
Number 2 on your top 5 at 6, a bunch of Minnesota beers are really, really good, and that's just not me saying that. The Great American Beer Festival in Denver, 3 Minnesota breweries took home medals. Northbound Smokehouse and Brew Pubs, Eisbach won gold in the German-style Doppelbock or Eisbach category. That must be a fine beer. Arbiter? How do you say that? Arbiter. I've not even had Arbiter.
They're fantastic.
Their pills.
Salzmini.
Okay, their pills won gold in the German-style Pilsner category. I'm a big Pils fan. I guess I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a great brewery.
Ursa Minor's Equanimity won bronze in the Irish-style Red Ale category. I like all 3 of those types of beers. Congratulations to those 3 local brewers. There were 9,000 beers at the Great American Beer Festival, and these 3 all took medals. That's pretty strong.
It's a great time to be alive. In the top 5 and 6, are we talking about ranch and beer this morning?
Yeah, pretty good.
Wow.
We're also talking about Cottage Grove. Good morning, Cottage Grove.
How are you?
Come on, Cottage Grove. That's the home of cottage cheese. Go figure. I never knew.
It is.
It's amazing the stuff you can find on the internet.
And we're talking about the dimples on your ass, of course.
That's exactly right. Shocking amount of protein in cottage cheese. Don't overlook the cottage cheese as a side if you need that protein boost.
It just grows naturally in Cottage Grove. Anywhere you want, just go scoop it up out of the
It used to be called Cottage Grows, and then they changed it to Grove. Number 1 on your top 5 and 6. Speaking of cool things, beer, ranch dip, how about the biggest pumpkin you've ever seen? Yeah. Good God Almighty! In Anoka, Travis Geinger, the
man.
Albert Einstein of pumpkin growers, has raged. He's done it again. He has a pumpkin named Rudy that came in California Monday. 2,471 pounds, a ton of pumpkin. It's incredible.
Rudy.
By the way, $9 per pound plus 30 grand. So add that up. That's $52,000, my man just cleared for one pumpkin.
He's done this before. This was the pumpkin Michael Jordan from, I don't know, a few years ago.
Guinness. It's not for fame or fortune or anything. It's just basically to put smiles on people's faces. And people just love seeing a giant pumpkin. And
they do. It puts a smile on my face to hear him talk about it. Maybe that Bitcoin dude in Wales should start growing pumpkins. That'll get a smile on his face.
That's what my dad did when he retired. One of the things he took up was he's woodworking now. We've got lots of little end tables. I have like 5 end tables tables now in my house. They're
No
everywhere.
bird feeders?
No bird feeders. Yeah,
maybe
he's
next
got
year.
little pieces of furniture. But I get into growing. You want to see how big. I'm going to grow the biggest pumpkin I can grow. And he got up in there into the 400 pounders.
Very
but
nice.
he was out there with cow manure and like, you just don't get a big pumpkin seed. He's like, oh no, you got to sleep with that sucker practically.
Wow.
I mean, you just tend it night and day.
I had wood shop in 5th grade, and I started to make my dad like a plaque on the wall with hooks where you can hang your belts and ties, and
Yeah.
it turned into just a paperweight. Listen, you cannot put a price tag on life. We all know this. But an arm, a human arm, oh, yeah. Oh, I can tell you how much that's worth for sure. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Jimi Hendrix, All Along the Watchtower. That's how you do it. Bob Dylan had released that song in an album, and nobody paid attention to it. Hendrix heard it and went, I think I can do that kind of cool. And he did. He recorded it, put it out, and then Dylan went, oh, crap. And then Dylan started performing the song, but it was Hendrix's version. He completely abandoned his original arrangement and the vibe and said, no, that's a better version. That's kind of nice.
Yeah,
that's a tip of the cap.
I went through my Bob Dylan phase after I had already been listening to classic rock radio, so that's the version I knew. I knew it was a Bob Dylan tune.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to track down the original Dylan version, go back to the source, and I listened to it and went,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Once you hear Jason and the Scorchers, Absolutely Sweet Marie, the Dylan version just doesn't really do it, does it? You always hear the story like, it cost me an arm and a leg. A few years ago in New York City, the cost of an arm and a leg was put to the test. A gentleman who is, he's a 56-year-old guy in New York City drinking into a New York subway station, falls onto the tracks, drunk, stumbling drunk. And for the record, I have been stumbling drunk on a New York subway platform myself, so I'm not going to judge the guy. Because New York is one of those towns where you just get there and you put on your drinking hat. That's just what you do. You got to pack it and you bring it.
Yeah.
For the record, before I lived in Minneapolis, I said the exact same words about Minneapolis. Boy, I got to bring my drinking hat if I'm going to Minnesota. He fell onto the tracks. A train operator failed to stop in time and it ran him over. It severed a leg and most of one arm. He survived. He filed a lawsuit. He won in court $90 million.
But he was drunk. He fell on the tracks.
The court found the train operator would have been able to stop the train if he had simply pulled the emergency brake. He chose not to. And then the train operator said, people were waving frantically, trying to get my attention. I saw something on the tracks. I just thought it was a bag of garbage. When he said those words,
Ouch,
you know,
babe.
the people from the subway authority were like, oh my God, you didn't just say that. Long story short, $90 million. An expert testified the victim's lifetime medical expenses alone would be at least 17 or 18 million, and then you add pain and suffering, et cetera, et cetera,
For
et
a
cetera.
bag of garbage?
For a bag of garbage. But so check this out. It got us to thinking, man, an arm and a leg, 90 mil.
I mean, I don't want to be insensitive to people that are dealing with missing limbs.
Not at all.
I know several, but I was thinking the same thing. 90 mil.
Good to be in
for
New
an
York
arm
City
and a leg
for that proceeding.
Certainly for an arm.
Yes.
The leg is a little trickier.
Trickier.
Depending
But you know, geography plays a big part in what happens. If you have a workplace accident, Zep, if I turn on your microphone and it accidentally cuts your arm off, let's just say,
okay,
we're at work, I hit the
happened.
wrong button on that board,
Boom.
and you know, you never know. You are in Minnesota. You would have a very different settlement if you happen to be in Wisconsin. State by state, it can be a huge difference. There's a story I just read about a gentleman in Georgia and a gentleman in Alabama. Two guys, both working in industrial plants, both lost an arm in an accident within a few months of each other. The guy in Alabama got $45,000 in workers' comp.
All right.
That's it. The guy in Georgia over lifetime will make $700,040.
If he's taunting the other one.
Because Georgia is a better place to lose a limb than Alabama. It's kind of crazy to think about that. If you need to know what happens in Minnesota if you lose an arm, the maximum compensation for one arm in Minnesota, about $114,000. Less than the national average.
No, I'm not going to do it for 114. I mean,
seems kind of
not
crazy.
like cut it off myself, but I mean, yeah, I'm not crazy about 114. How come in Wisconsin it's 201,000? What the hell? If I just go over to Hudson, if I lose an arm, Steve, here this morning,
Packing it on ice and racing on 94
get my
East.
ass over to Hudson.
You got it.
That's an extra, 75,000.
That's kind of crazy. A leg in Minnesota is only going to get you 48 large. That seems low.
That's well below the
less than
national
an arm?
average.
Less than an arm. Whereas the leg in Wisconsin, 160,000.
All right.
We have the same amount of snow to shovel. I don't know why they're getting so much more money.
And by the way, this isn't just information I happen to have. No, that's not the case at all. There's a website where you can go put in the body part state by state, see how much it's worth. If you're curious about what you can get for a testicle, in Wisconsin, I don't have that information available. A lot of states don't post a number, but for the ones who do, well, God willing, we never have to find out.
Here in Minnesota, 3,750 for a testee. And the national average, just about 28,000. Why so cheap on the body parts, Minnesota? What the hell's going on?
You get a
Middle
deal on
finger.
a pair for the two testes?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you get, you'd be looking at roughly over $7,000 for the pair.
A middle finger in Minnesota, you're only going to get $9,300 for it. I mean, you're removing
More than a testy.
You're removing a huge part of our communicative skills. Take away that middle finger, and what does that say?
I get a lot more value out of it than that every day just on the way home.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Not to mention right here at work.
Big toe in Minnesota, about 6,400.
That the big toe?
Yeah, come on, Sergeant Hulka. We need a little bit more than
What
that.
happened to the $90 million for the arm? So if I'm drunk
Yeah.
and then sue, we're looking at big time millions of dollars. So I just need to get drunk and then head out to, I don't know, a MnDOT site or...
Wow, check this out.
Somewhere.
Oh, that said, I want to see what an ear is worth here in Minnesota. Not available. Ear and nose. I'm just thinking about what body parts do I have that are a little bigger than I wish they were? Should I get more?
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I have a big head because my nose is the size of a Texas belt buckle. So, but it gets washed away a little bit with the general size of my pumpkin head. True story. Cap and gown high school graduation. I had to order a little extra. I had to wait extra to get it big enough to fit around this.
The mortar board wouldn't fit.
Pretty much. That's exactly right. But anyway, so yeah, just, you might want to look at these things, figure out where you are before you file that claim. Of course, but the problem is if I race you over to Hudson, you have to get hired somewhere with that arm on ice. You got to get a job to then claim workers' comp.
I know a guy.
Okay, cool.
He'll vouch for me.
It's always good to
Get me
know.
up to Grantsburg. I'm probably on the payroll at the rendezvous.
It's always good to know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
The more guys you know, the more it's not about what you know. It's about what kind of skirt the rules, cut corners guys you know. That's what you got to know. You can find this very show, the KQ Morning Show podcast, anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want. Sponsored by Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies.
Connect with us on the KQ Talkin' text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS. The KQ Morning Show continues on 92 KQRS.
That's my favorite track I've ever played right there. Remember that? And Tony was playing bass, and I never knew you had such a tone on the guitars up.
I was drunk. I don't remember it. That's the thing.
The incidental music on this station, this band, I swear to God, we should take this band on the road.
Speak into the mic, bitch.
We all know George Harrison, he of the Beatles. Zepp and I were just discussing his greatness during the commercial break, but do you know who Crazy George Harrison is? Fun fact, crazy spelled with a K. Crazy George Harrison is the man who on this day in 1981 invented and started and became credited with having the first guy to ever do what? The wave cheer.
What?
The wave. At an Oakland A's baseball game against the New York Yankees, he was motioning the audience. He built up from his section at Oakland County Stadium the first ever complete around a stadium wave. Now, 1 million people have taken credit for inventing the wave over the years, and there have been deep dive studies, and it went back to this. It was televised, and when you watch it on TV, the clip, the announcer's going, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
Like they're freaking out. They think there's like that dancing hysteria from the 1500s where people die. Well, everyone's standing and sitting and doing, and that was the first ever wave on this day in 1981. A guy named Crazy George Harrison, and he has said for years, "I don't claim to have invented the wave. I invented the wave."
All right. Well, I knew there was one person specifically I hated for that phenomenon.
That's exactly right.
And it's
How do you
Crazy
get that
George
first
Harrison.
group to start doing that too?
I really don't know. He's I think that's when you spell crazy with a K, anything's possible.
That, and it's just the most asinine thing ever. Everyone hates the wave,
Yes.
but go to a stadium, be that guy that stands up, and everyone does it.
It's
Even
still-
I
You're
find
guilted into it.
I know. It's...
On this day in 1988, what was not actually a scene from The Natural, but really happened in World Series, Oakland A's at Dodger Stadium. Tommy Lasorda desperately inserts Kirk Gibson into the lineup, who can literally barely walk. He's got one arm that's a mess. He's got two knees that are a mess. And Kirk Gibson steps up to the plate against Dennis Eckersley and does this.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. And the Dodgers have won the game 5-4. I don't believe what I just saw.
It's not often you overrule Vin Scully for someone else, but that call by Jack Buck, I was in a car with a friend listening on AM radio to that very call, and we in the dark, just driving home, and we were like, oh my God. It was like when he goes, I don't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, it's amazing. If only he had something like a limp or an injury to make it more dramatic.
There was questions of whether he'd make it around the bases. He was in so much, but the adrenaline. He said later, like, did it hurt? He was like, later, like the adrenaline though in that moment.
I think he was hand pumping. That
Yeah,
hand
he was.
pump
He was pulling
around.
himself around. That's exactly right.
Second greatest, I think. I still watch that on YouTube every once in a while. After the Miracle on Ice, I think the second greatest sports moment I've ever witnessed.
Incredible.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Tuesday, October the 15th. Good morning. Good morning to everybody, but especially our friends in Brooklyn Park. What's shaking up in Brooklyn Park this morning? I'd love to hear from you.
Everything that should be, I think.
I would imagine that's true.
I know what that means exactly. But
Whatever. 651-989-ROCK. Let me know, Brooklyn Park. What's the story up there? The KQ Talk and Text line. We're always happy to hear from you at any time. So we've been having a good time so far, but that's about to end right now. I've had enough fun for one day. It's Tuesday,
right.
damn it. It's the runt of the week, and it's time to get unfun.
Oh, I was just trying to get my facts straight. Unfun.
Unfun.
Not fun.
Not fun, not fun.
Entirely unfun.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Unfun.
Facts.
Let's begin, shall we? Shall we?
Here we go. Here's something that's not fun at all. Assume crash positions. You've heard that before. You've seen on an airplane, you see those safety videos, and sometimes they'll say if the pilot says assume a crash position, they want you to lean forward, put your head in between your knees. And you've probably said to yourself, why is that safer than anything else? I always assumed it was so something wouldn't hit you in the head. Like, flying...
like the ground
maybe.
coming at you at 500 miles an hour.
I'm assuming that you're going to coast in and maybe just the wheels don't work and that's the crash.
Okay.
I'm assuming
Sure.
there's going to be a situation where, stuff's breaking, flying around. That's not really what that meant. Officials realized in the event of a crash, passengers would be assumed dead. Mayhem and fires would render bodies impossible to identify. Therefore, if you put your head between your legs, that's the best way to preserve the dental work you've had. Your dental records will be needed to identify you. That's the best way to keep your mouth safe.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I was...
I told you, it's
right.
unfun.
Well, I mean, it's anytime there's a situation where they tell you to do that, it's almost certain death anyway.
Yeah.
Like when a plane crashes.
Right.
The only reason I love that we have to wear a little seatbelt. A seatbelt that wouldn't be legal in any car these days.
That's right.
But you put that on in case the plane careens into the ground at several hundred miles an hour. I thought that was so that they just could find that part of your body with the wallet in it.
Well, there's that too.
For identification. So this is kind of the same deal.
My thinking on this is keep the seatbelt fastened just in case of turbulence. But if you're going down, take that thing off and run up and down and go, go get a kiss from somebody. Just do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, we did have the guy that ended up in the overhead compartment, right? Or it was a gal not wearing the seat during turbulence.
That's right.
All right.
You go popping right up there. Here is something that's incredibly unfun. Albert Fish. Albert Fish. That's not a town. It's not someone's pet fish. It's a gentleman. He was one of America's first identified serial killers. This is in the 1920s. He wrote victims' parents letters. Yeah. He would kill people and then find their families and write them letters telling them how great it was to take their lives and how good these victims tasted when he ate them.
Yeah, what do they call him? The cannibal of, I forget now where, that death quarter over there in Wisconsin.
I don't know. That's like the worst Yelp review.
It's really bad. Really bad.
Ate 3 kids. I remember that. And this guy, I mean, he just didn't do it to other people. They found after they electrocuted him, there was his crotch started on fire. It burst into flames. Why did that happen? Because he had shoved over 100 needles into his crotch. He just liked to, I killed and ate a kid. I'm bad. I'm going to shove a needle in my scrotum.
The Gray Man, the Werewolf of Wisteria, the Moon Maniac, the Boogeyman, and then his best media nickname, simply the Brooklyn Vampire. Okay. Nothing fun about that guy. Here's something that's incredibly unfun. At any moment, at any time, it could be 5 minutes from now or it could be 1,000 years from now, Earth could very easily be hit by a gamma ray burst, which would extinguish all life on the planet.
Well, you'd know that if you watch Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
and then you'll be sitting there going, oh, it turns out I like Iron Man now. Please come save me.
I'm missing a lot, aren't I?
No, you're not at all. Well, that works for me. I don't have a retirement thing set up, so that would solve some issues for me.
Yeah. I put a lot of concerns to bed, no question about it. If you watched the show Chernobyl, an riveting miniseries on HBO a few years ago. Awesome. You already know this one. If you are a certain distance from a nuclear explosion, you're not going to be killed immediately. But instead, you'll suffer third-degree burns throughout your entire body. But you won't know it because the nerves are killed so fast, it's completely painless.
Okay.
That's the original firemen who reported to Chernobyl. They're out there right on the scene like, let's get these hoses up here. There's a fire. And then they're all taken to the hospital, and they're just sitting there like, I feel totally fine, while their body's just disintegrating from the inside.
So people look at you in horror, and you're like, what?
Yeah, what's the big deal, man?
Thanks, Albert Einstein.
No kidding. If you're attacked by a bear, there's going to be nothing fun about it, okay?
Put your head between your legs.
Just about every other predator on Earth, if it attacks a human, it kills you.
Yeah.
And then it starts to eat you. Not a bear. It just starts eating.
Right.
It just starts going. You're alive and fighting it and kicking and screaming. It's like, no, I'm just going to get that liver.
No manners whatsoever.
No manners whatsoever.
No, that's why it's called mauling, They don't. Mountain lions don't maul you. They just grab you by the neck and you go, sleepy time.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
bears, they just start ripping flesh off your body.
Right now, as we're having this conversation, as we're all sitting here in the morning sipping coffee, we're having a good time. We're sharing really unfun facts. Our listeners are on their way to work, or they're on their way to school, or they're sitting at home with their cup of coffee. Right now, as all this is happening, millions of tiny creatures are eating and living and fornicating and taking dumps all over our faces.
No,
It's true.
What?
It's true.
I only had 2 kids.
Do not look at your own face under a microscope. You will not like the party that's happening there right now.
Like it now.
It's I'm telling you, man. It's like Ibiza. It's like an ecstasy fueled party on your face every day.
I'm glad someone's having a good time this morning.
Here's one specifically that I'm aware of. I've watched videos about this because as a snakeophobe, I can't help myself. There is an island off the coast of Sao Paulo, Brazil. I went to Sao Paulo one time in the 90s, and I was aware of this island, and I knew that there was an ocean part between me and the island, and I was still thinking about it. I was in a city of like 38 million people, and I was worried about this island. Why? It's known as Snake Island. Okay. It has the highest concentration of golden lancehead vipers anywhere on Earth. And in fact, it's the only place on Earth where this breed exists. How many snakes are on this island? 5 for every square meter.
What?
It is literally an island that is crawling and covered with venomous snakes.
What the hell are they eating?
It's so deadly. The civilians are not allowed to go to the island. The Brazilian Navy keeps an eye on it because every now and again someone gets on a boat and thinks, I'm going to go check it out. They will intercept your boat. They will not let you near it because you will not last. A lighthouse keeper, there's a lighthouse on the island from way back in the day.
What?
A lighthouse, there was a keeper with his family who tried to get there. They were brought in securely. They had a house. They figured they could be safe. They had a whole plan. It didn't work. The snakes eventually got into the house. They ran out into the forest. They were confronted by thousands. Again, literally thousands more snakes. He and his family were all killed. This is the only place these snakes exist. The venom, if bitten, as you're dying, the flesh will rot off your bones.
Oh,
cool. Look it up. Look, you can go. Nat Geo did a thing on Snake Island, and I kid you not, couldn't sleep that night.
I didn't really go through the whole Darwin thing too much. I just I slept through that class, I think, but. Aren't these suckers going to eventually learn how to swim?
It's just a matter of time.
I mean, what are they eating on that island?
I'm not really sure about that, but I promise you this: when I hear that the golden lancehead vipers have developed the ability to swim through oceanic waters, I'm out. See you later. You're never going to hear from me again.
Turns out Steve is going to get on that shuttle to the moon.
Yeah, trust me, that's going to be the end of me. If you're thinking about picking up what is today? Tuesday? So that's what? Mega Millions Day. If you're thinking about getting a lottery ticket today, the chance of you dying on your way to get to the store is greater than your chance of winning.
Either way, it solves a lot of things for me.
See, exactly. A lot of headaches are just, boom, gone. And finally, to piggyback on top of our friends, the bears, who just eat us while we're still alive, it's just good to remember that human meat is very rich in protein. just loaded, man.
I wonder if Albert Fish, did he kill him before he ate him? Or was it like a body part at a time and he would eat it in front of you? Well, something to Google for later.
If I knew Albert Fish, I'd call him Bert for short. Bert, not Al. I'd go with Bert.
Good Bert, huh?
What's up, Bert? Kill anybody today? 92KQRS presents Iron Maiden October 22nd at the XL Energy Center. Good God almighty, Iron Maiden. You can pick up tickets at 92KQRS.com. How about that? How about this? I have an active dream life. I remember my dreams when I wake up, and sometimes I just marvel at how unhinged my brain is when I leave it to its own devices. It's never once occurred to me that I might communicate with you in my dream while you're in your dream. What if our conversations extended into dream states? This ain't some weird movie from some futuristic, nightmaric, apocalyptic, draconian, oh my God, they're competing. No, this is real. Dream communication. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
It's KQ Morning Show. I'm Steve Gorman, and I have a very, very vivid, active, bizarre, and kind of troubling dream life. My dreams, every morning I wake up, I do remember what I've been dreaming about, and more often than not, I go, man, what in the hell does that mean? One thing that and I look up all this common things, like, what does it mean that I'm always being chased by a tornado?
Yeah.
I've had that dream my whole life. It's always like the same size as me. Not a giant tornado. I have personal Steve-sized tornadoes that chase me in my dreams.
Tornado, Steve. Come on.
What's that?
Take on that tornado.
I try. I do what I can. I mean, they say it's worries and anxieties are mounting, or it's symbolic of a challenge you can't quite escape.
Turmoil.
Well, I mean, I was having that as a kid. I mean, it's just that's the one. That's my go-to. But here's one thing I've never thought ever once in my life. Boy, I'd love to be able to communicate with someone else who's having a dream at this very exact moment. It wouldn't even occur to me that that's possible. But apparently, there's a company in California that is trying to set up, and they believe they are very close to establishing two-way communication between individuals who are both experiencing lucid dreaming.
Fascinating.
Now, lucid dreaming, it is pretty fascinating. I don't understand what could possibly come of this that's positive, but lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream, but you're aware that you're dreaming. So you're kind of in control of the dream. And I've had that experience as well. I've been aware of the fact that I'm in a dream and continued to dream. I've let it, hey, hang on, this is a dream. It's okay. And I've told myself, don't wake up. It's okay. It's just a dream. And then I continue on with my adventure.
And you can manipulate it as you're dreaming.
I've had that happen on a handful of occasions. Absolutely true.
Cool. Who was it about?
What's that?
Who was it about?
It was not about Julia Roberts. What are you talking about? But scientists, as they say, they're coming up with this whole idea. They're saying, okay, so what we've got is some technology, and we're going to hook up a few people to a bunch of pads and sensors and put things in their, connect to their brain. There's a server, and it can detect when someone is entering a lucid dream. And this is all it says. 2 participants went to sleep in their own homes, right? Their brain waves are remotely tracked by this apparatus, and it feeds data into the server. Once this server recognizes, okay, this guy over here, let's say it's you and it's Tony and Brian. Mm-hmm. Okay, Tony's in a lucid dream. We're going to generate a random word into him via earbuds. It's just like
ball sack.
The word is ball sack. And then 8 minutes later, Brian goes into a lucid dream. The server transmit the stored message from the first participant to Brian, Tony to Brian, and then Brian wakes up and goes, was the word ball sack? And so people are really excited about this, and they're going, this is a really, really amazing thing, but no one really can give me a reason why this helps anybody at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, in terms of understanding how the brain works, if you're getting more inside information, if you can understand how this genius computer we're all born with actually operates, okay. But I feel like this might be just the kind of thing a weirdo is trying to do to get attention. And why do I feel that way? Because the guy who has put this experiment up and gotten these results, he put an electrode into his own brain a couple years ago because he was trying to control his dreams. He's not a neurosurgeon. He has no neurosurgery qualifications. He watched some videos on YouTube about brain surgery, practiced on some sheep, and then bought a drill at a hardware store and drilled a microchip into his own brain.
Yeah, okay.
He did a DIY on brain surgery?
DIY on his...
Frankenstein.
That's exactly right. His name is Michael Raduga, and he Raduga'd up his own brain to an electrode, which after 5 weeks had to go to the hospital and have it reviewed.
I could see this becoming a tool for marketing or advertising.
Yes,
that's very powerful.
Wonderful. Fantastic.
He believes that the REM sleep is the type of sleep. Rapid eye movement sleep is where you can have lucid dreams. And he believes that this is an industry he says it's like after AI, this is the next big
this
frontier.
is the one that'll do us
This
in.
is the one.
Yeah, AI, people are like, it's the end of AI and the internet. And no, that changes things. I don't fear that kind of stuff. But once we can start, because we talked about another piece of technology here in the last year, probably closely associated with this scheming right here, that they'll be able to record our dreams. I mean, this is, and then mind reading is, we'll put that right into the smartphone. There's an app for that. I can record your thoughts now. I know what you're thinking. That's the end.
Yeah.
As soon as you know what's really going on inside of here, and I'm talking about your head, as soon as that's exposed to the public, then it's over, boys and girls.
I agree with you entirely. I don't know if anybody would be. I'm curious. Do you want to see your own dreams? Would you, if you could hit a button and your dreams are put up on a screen, like you log into YouTube TV, but it's Tony Brain TV. Yeah. If you could wake up in the morning and see like a movie what you just dreamt, I would have to say yes, and then I would regret it for the rest of my life.
No, I would love it. I've been thinking about this since I was a kid.
Yeah.
That I would love to invent a device that would do that and record and be able to play back your dreams.
I mean, the Tony
but
Tunes
you'd be
are pretty
horrified.
close.
You would be entertained and horrified at the same time.
I think watching your own dreams would be fascinating. That I would love. It's other people seeing your dreams.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And because it's being recorded, you don't think that's just for you, do you?
Steve, this is an odd dream I saw that you had last Thursday night. You are in a confessional, and instead of a priest, it's your childhood dog, Rusty, that's hearing your confession. Yeah, I know. I don't really know what that means either. But it seems like, we were both wearing Crocs. I mean, that's the stuff I dream. It's just a mishmash But if I have two types of dreams. I have anxiety dreams, the personal tornado. I have the dream where I'm in an airplane and it can't take off because there's like power lines over. It's like going down a runway, and the pilot is saying like, as soon as we clear these power lines, we're good to go. And I'm like, get this thing off the ground. I mean, I have these weird anxiety dreams, or I just have simple, awesome dreams where I'm just, like I'm on a motorcycle and I'm like Tom Cruise in a movie, and then there's Rusty. I haven't seen him since I was in high school, and you just have funny things, and then like Jennifer Connelly shows up and says, "Do you want a coffee?" And I'm like, "I do, thank you very much." And then I'm in a park, and
that's my dream.
Yeah, and then I'm in a park somewhere, and there's kids playing, and they're all like, "Steve, looking good today." I mean, it's just the goofiest crap imaginable.
I think it'll be commonplace at some point that it'll be like when you meet somebody and you walk around their house and admire their artwork or their books. You'll play back dreams and get to know somebody that way. Or it'll be used on dating apps.
Do you realize how dark and terrible? There is not one of us that would ever say a word to each other again if we just got inside our heads for 1 minute, let alone recording dreams. I don't know what you people are hiding, but I know you're hiding something. We're all hiding something. And you listening, yes, I'm talking to you. You know what I'm talking about. And we can't let these things out into the open. Dear God Almighty. Where's my tinfoil at? Aluminum foil.
Have you ever had the kind of dark dream, though, where you're doing something terrible? Like where you're killing someone or shooting someone or stabbing someone or doing that?
I'm having it right now.
Right.
Really? No, I mean when you're asleep. I don't mean wide awake plotting and planning.
Yeah.
I know you're full of that.
Right.
I'm talking about you're sound asleep. You are untethered to your conscience and societal norms in your sleep.
Yeah.
What is your central nervous system running away with?
I don't know. I never know the person, but sometimes I have dreams where I'm drowning someone in mud.
Really?
I'm holding their head underwater while they're dying, but I don't know who it is.
I've had some really violent dreams, and I do know the people, and then and sometimes I wake up and think, "Oh, that'd be great," and sometimes I wake up and think, "Oh my God, why would I ever do that?"
Yeah.
That's a weird one. So basically what I'm saying is don't approach me from behind to the left.
I'm gonna write that down.
Always come up on my right side just to be safe.
Terrifying, fascinating stuff. I'm with you, Tony. I mean, this stuff is fascinating, but whew, it's going to be different when we can start reading each other's thoughts, because that's what the path we're going down here is, just being fully exposed. Nudity is nothing compared to what's in that skull.
Oh gosh, no, that is nothing. As much as we still don't know about how the brain generally works, I mean, which is true. Like, neuroscientists are like, we don't really know how this happens, but it does.
Yeah.
And as much as we don't know about dreams and what they truly mean, I mean, I know what Carl Jung thinks our dreams mean, and I know what other people think our dreams mean. Let's just back it. Let's just take a step back. I still don't know how bridges work.
I know.
I will never understand a single thing about how I take a vehicle over a bridge and it doesn't just immediately collapse under the weight of one car, much less thousands.
Yeah.
Absolutely mind-blowing to me.
How I can have a conversation on a phone with someone in England in real time. Like, how are we talking to each other? And you're responding right away. I feel like there should always be this. Yeah, I don't understand technology either. I love to play around with it, tinker with it. What if you were having what if your dreams are just very sexual? What if you had a wet dream?
What if?
Well, I mean, what if you did?
Again?
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying that.
These days?
Yeah, right. I mean, is that the dream? I don't want to be in someone else's wet dream.
I would wonder about that. If you could get the list of all the people who fantasize about you in their dreams, do you want to read that list?
No.
Nope.
No, not a chance.
No
Tony,
way.
you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I would be fascinating to find out what people, how they perceive me.
But what if here's how it worked. We've got a list of all the people who've ever had sexual dreams about you. And if you want to read that list, we have to share your list with everyone on that list of all the people you've dreamed about. I don't know that I could go there. I've had some touchy, dicey dreams that make me feel nothing but shame.
Then you'd know, though, if some people you're going to run into that day, you'd dress more provocatively. knowing the power that you have over them.
Oh my
You
You
God.
might
got that
dress
little
less
halter top.
provocatively.
Yeah, right. Yeah, speak for yourself.
I will never understand bridges. I will never understand, like, to your points up, like you said, you talk on the phone with somebody. But I mean, think about when we were kids. If somebody had said phone call, cell phones is one thing, but FaceTime, I remember in 2003, I bought a MacBook and I had a camera I could attach to it, that you plug into the USB port on your computer, and you attach this little cylindrical camera, and if you had high enough speed internet, like I was on tour and I could phone home and video chat with my toddler and baby. And I just thought, my God, this is so beyond Star Trek. Yeah. And now you don't think twice about walking down the street and FaceTiming someone anywhere in the world, and you just take every bit of this for granted. And I think to myself, if you went back in time and you tried to explain this to someone, they'd say, oh, that's awesome, so you can help us build that? And the answer is no. I can't even tell you how to make shoes with laces, much less a cell phone.
You guys got a drum around here somewhere?
Yeah.
And we can already do that. We've got drummers everywhere. We got, rhythm specialists.
Man.
But yeah, you're right. I don't know what I would go back and do for him exactly. You guys want to hear a dirty joke?
Go back in town. Go back to you're in a Model T Ford, and you're like, we can put a thing on the windshield that wipes the raindrops away, and they're like, that's amazing. How do you do it? I don't know. I don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
You push the button.
What's the point of going back in time when all you can tell people about is what's going to happen, but can't help them get there any faster?
I mean, I would actually I would seem like history's regressed. They'd be like, well, let's get a fire going. And I'd be thinking, do you have a lighter? How do you guys do it?
I need one of those little cups with the mulch that lights up really fast. Have you guys got that around here somewhere? Do you place those in that emptied out pumpkin? Oh no, that's a bed for your baby. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
What's your Wi-Fi password?
Man,
I'll DIY that quick.
I think it would be better to go to the future and just be the dumbest guy in town than to go to the past and be the smartest guy in town without any applicable skill set. Really, I know all this is going to happen, and I can't do a damn thing about it. I can't explain a thing. Because how do you explain to somebody that you can do all the things we can do, but you have no idea how it works? I mean, back in the day, you had to have at least a rudimentary understanding of how a horse likes to operate, of how to connect that horse to the buggy. When you had an early car, you had to know how to crank it to get it started. Now it's just like, I can turn my car on from a fob in my pocket. And you want me to explain to you how that works? No, I apologize, Abraham Lincoln. I am of no use to you.
But
I can tell you that Longstreet's going to ignore Lee and Gettysburg's going to swing the war. Does that help? Jeez, Pete, absolutely insane.
Boston, don't trade Babe Ruth.
I'm just telling you right 86
now.
years of misery. I know you're sick of him. He's got bad breath and he's drunk, but keep him around, would you?
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Tuesday, October the 15th. Good Tuesday morning. We are very, very happy to have you with us. In fact, we're so happy, by God, we're going to give away some Iron Maiden tickets. Let's do it. We need 2 callers. 651-989-ROCK. That's the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. Callers 9 and 2. We'll play for tickets. A very, very fun game. You know how we like to have a good time around here. Quizmaster General Tony Lee, ready to welcome you into his lair. There will be a game. Somebody will walk away with tickets, and next week we'll be rocking out with Iron Maiden. Callers 9 and 2. While we wait those callers to be placed into the starters blocks, St. Michael, Minnesota. What is up? Good morning.
Yeah, St. Michael. Always have a good time up there. I went up and saw the Fabulous Armadillos there this summer. What is it? The Days and Nights?
The Days and Nights Festival.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
that was, just a couple months ago.
The DAZ with a Z and a K.
Oh, yeah.
I did see a sign at the park that they were having a medallion hunt, but I don't know what it was for. I don't know.
Well, if they really wanted to get on my good side, they'd call it the Wasted Days and Wasted Nights, and have little Freddie Fender sitting there, blasting all over the thing. But St. Michael, if you're listening, we do appreciate you. Let us know what's on your mind if you feel like it. We are anxiously awaiting a couple people to get locked in for a game. Tony is giving me the look that says, "Hey, Steve, we're ready to rock." Tony,
look.
what sort of gauntlet are you planning to throw down at the feet of these poor contestants?
Let's toss this down in front of their faces and in their ears. Yeah, we love these little amazing life enhancers, these elegant time wasters. They're part of our lives, so what we're going to do is give you a brief description, then you guess is it a real app or is it a made-up piece of crapola? App or crap?
App or crap? We're going to have two contestants. We're going to go back and forth. Who's contestant number one?
They're ready to rock. Number one is Elizabeth in Wyoming, Minnesota.
Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning.
Give me your favorite band, Elizabeth.
Rolling Stones.
I like it. Favorite team, any sport?
Vikings for sure, 5-0.
That's damn straight, 5-0. Right on, Elizabeth. So sit tight real quick. Tony, who's contestant number two?
Our buddy Ozzy from Carver.
Ozzy, my man, good morning.
Good morning.
Ozzy, favorite band, who is it?
Weezer.
All right.
Weezer. Coming in out of left field. I like it. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
I'm going to choose the Vikings right now. I mean, we're doing pretty good.
Ride the wave. Ride the wave while it's hot, brother.
Yeah, 1 foot on the bandwagon.
He sure does. We'll see after this Lions game. We'll see what happens around here. All right, let's get to it. We're going to play app or crap. Elizabeth, you're up first. Good luck to both of you.
All right, Lizzie, number one is called Dust Off. Surprisingly soothing for minimalists and cleaning enthusiasts. You're in control of a powerful high-grade vacuum cleaner that wipes out any dust or debris in its way. Choose from scores of surfaces and terrains from household to industrial. App or crap?
App.
I'm sorry, that is made up. She does not exist yet.
I was just picturing Tony, the hours spent writing that bio. That was impressive.
Yeah, damn, that's what I thought. I'm like, Tony didn't spend all this time writing that entire, but you did.
I wrote it in cursive.
He could have written the program for that app in as much time as it took him to write the description. All right, let's go to Ozzy for round one.
Ozzy. This is called My Man Enrique. Ever wanted your very own butler and server at your beck and call? Enrique is there instantly. Your wish is his command. Pick his outfit from formal attire to loincloth. Snap your fingers and you're a VIP. App or crap?
Oh, my God.
Great reaction.
Yeah, it is.
Let's go with crap.
Correct. Made up. There's no My Man Enrique just yet.
You had me until you got to loincloth.
Is it an edible? Is it cybacillin? Exactly where does this crap come out of that head? He seems normal in person.
When you can watch your dreams on screen, I guess the proof will come out.
Ryder just triggered me because that's not the first time a woman said to me, "You had me until the loincloth."
Right.
painful memories of the late 80s.
Not a Tarzan thing going on over there, man.
Man, there was a time.
Hair?
There was a time and there was a place.
Elizabeth, your next one is Brawl Stars. Fast-paced battle royale fight for survival. Unlock and upgrade dozens of brawlers with super abilities, powers, and gadgets as you battle in mysterious locations within the Brawliverse. App or crap?
App.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Brawl Stars?
No, just that one sounded, that passed the test. I thought, all right, that was
very nice. All right, let's go, Ozzy.
Ozzy, are you in a car wash? Ozzy, yours is Smirk Buster. The dating world is a stressful world. Skeptical about that face that's good looking but might be too good to be true. That charming smirk could be hiding a personality issue that will eventually clash with your vision of an ideal partner. An analysis of a photo of your desired subject can reveal potential secrets hidden by the formulation of facial muscles. Pseudoscience, maybe, maybe not. Why take a chance? You could be saving yourself on the road to finding your soulmate. App or crap?
I'm going to go with app.
I'm sorry. It is crap. Smirkbuster is
real.
No go.
Yeah, I know. Well, we heard about the dating app that'll fess up how tall you are.
Mm-hmm.
No more lying about your height.
Elizabeth Garbanzo Jones. With the aid of a master detective, you'll traverse the unknown, the fascinating, the sexy, and the dangerous. No workplace is protected, no relationship solid, no secrets safe when Garbanzo Jones is on the case. Choose from a library of hundreds of cases, many based on real documented case files. Don't just use your noodle, use your bean. Garbanzo, that is. The truth is out there. App or crap?
App.
I'm sorry. There's no Garbanzo Jones that we know of.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
Adding it to the ever-growing list of band names. Garbanzo Jones. All right, Ozzy, let's get back on the horse.
Ozzy, Finch, self-care pet. Meet your new self-care best friend, a unique companion that grows with you. Meet and collect new micro-pets who provide self-care for every mood and listen to your stories. You'll share your positive moments with Finch as the two of you follow every emotional path together.
Ooh. App.
Correct. That is an app.
But if you downloaded it, your life is crap.
Boy, Tony with that pregnant pause before the ding, ding, ding.
Love it. I feel so powerful.
Building the tension. All right. We're rolling now, man. 1 for 3 for both of you. This is a tough one today, Tone.
Yeah, it is. Feels good.
It's so evil.
Elizabeth, sneaky Sasquatch. As a Bigfoot living in the woods, your goal is to stay well-fed and keep a low profile while having a blast. Gorge on campers' hot dogs, outsmart park rangers, forage for mushrooms, and even sneak and drive away in someone's SUV. App or crap?
App.
Correct.
Hell yeah.
Sneaky Sasquatch lives.
I like Sneaky Sasquatch.
All right, Noisy Ozzy, here's your last one. Heckles the clown. Simulate the most challenging aspect of being a stand-up comedian, facing a heckler. You're on a virtual stage with a mic and your own material and earn points as you face down heavy-drinking heckles who's in the audience as you fire away with comebacks to save your show. App or crop?
Oh, my God. Let's do app.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ozzy.
That's ridiculous.
Man, that was close.
Actually, comedy.
Man, Ozzy, I'm sorry to say, 1 for 4 with a heck of an effort, though, but not quite enough. Elizabeth, 2 for 4. That's enough for a win today. You have won Iron freaking Maiden tickets October 22nd. Guys, thank you both for playing. It's been a pleasure. Cheers.
Off
Here's
they
the
go.
thing, though. There was not really any noticeable difference between the apps and the crap.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of crappy apps out there we know, just time killers. If I'm an app developer, I'm listening for this game show.
Yeah.
I'm tapping in.
Yeah, you're spinning gold over there, Tone.
Perhaps $1 to be made.
I would imagine so.
I mean, we're
at
not
the
going to
very
make
least.
it, but someone should.
No, yeah, of course. I mean,
How do you make an app? What kind of
In a
materials?
toaster oven?
Yeah. What ingredients do you need?
I think what you got to do is
Yeah.
hang on, make an app.
I think he's trying to fart.
It's right there. It's so close, but you know what? I'm a little worried. What if it's not just a fart?
Oh, well.
Hey, I want to play a little something for you here. I want to get your thoughts. Anybody have any idea what's on this woman's mind? Listen to this.
I am the president of this whole country. That's a damn bona fide word.
In case you're wondering what she might be upset about and why she had to go to the I'm the president of this country card, we'll share that with you. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. We are the champions of your morning. Oh, I can't even pretend I'm being honest about that or serious. Oh, what are you going to do? So I asked you a question before the break. What do we think this woman's, what do we think she's talking about? What's happening here? Let me hear another quick clip of that, Zach.
I am the president of this whole country. That's a damn bona fide word.
That's a damn bona fide word. That is. I'm curious. What could make someone feel the need to stand up and immediately proclaim that they are the president of this damn country and that is a bona fide word? Could it be a hair in their soup?
Yes,
perhaps. Could be.
Yeah.
Could it be a sneering clerk at a convenience store and they just couldn't take it anymore? Not really. It could be any number of things. Right. I guess. I'm curious. First of all, before we reveal what's going on here, have you ever lost your cool in a public setting, at a store or at a restaurant, or not with like another drunk guy at a bar, but I mean like ever just turned on a waiter or a clerk or a staff member and just blown up at him?
I don't recall that I have. I feel like I must have. I must have.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Nothing just immediately pops to mind where I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally lost my Shiite.
Yeah.
I don't recall. You?
No, I really don't think I have. I mean, I've let people know I was displeased, and I'm snarky and can be, in my mind at the time, darkly funny and be a total snot. But I don't recall like having to yell at somebody or really get in their face. I can't imagine Tony Lee has ever turned on someone at the self-checkout and just let them have it.
Well, I put a fork in somebody's eye one time. Does that count?
Now, was there a cork on the fork, or was it just straight up tines? Ryder, how's your public service protocol?
I mean, spending many holiday seasons behind the customer service desk at Target, I have had people turn on me. I can only think, yes, a very traumatic incident where this lady shoved her shopping cart into the desk and said that I hated Christmas, and then stormed out because I wouldn't return her electric toothbrush.
Why?
She didn't have a receipt. I don't know what to do.
Why do you hate Christmas, though?
Man. It's going to make the next couple months pretty uncomfortable around here.
I think this happened December 18th, maybe like 1998. So we were right in the pressure cooker.
Oh, my God.
It's always something like they couldn't return a toothbrush. It's never, you've got to operate on my child. She's going to die right now.
Yes.
No, they're not yelling that. It's,
no.
You didn't return her toothbrush and you hate Christmas.
Had she used it?
I don't know. Maybe. It was one of those electric deals, so like super freaking expensive.
That's why you go to Walmart. They don't take receipts. You just bring that toothbrush back whenever you want.
What would she have said if it was in the spring? You hate Arbor Day. What the hell's it got to do with anything? Oh, Ryder, she's cool. She hates trees. She's so upset with Arbor Day every year. Yeah. You can just tell it turns her over. No, none of the above. This woman that we've heard now screaming that she's the president of the United States, and that's a bona fide term, as you may have assumed from the sound around her voice, she's actually on an airline. She's on a Frontier flight, and she is very upset, demanding that the plane return to Las Vegas from San Diego because, well, maybe she'll share this with us. She left her phone behind. She left her phone behind, and she did not want the flight to land in Vegas. It needs to turn around and go back to San Diego for my phone.
Already in the air.
I am the president of this whole country. That's a damn bona fide word. Yes, I need to get off this plane. And I'm going to tell you straight out, don't ever come against nobody because of their skin color again. You had enough time. I've seen Frontier do illegal stuff several times. I've been riding you for the last 8 years. Don't tell me. You had enough time to stop that telepilot to not go. You just released him from the bank. I saw it out the window. I know it within my heart. I am an affirmed sovereign ruler here in the government. 7 continents I own. What comes around goes around. This time now. Keep laughing. Watch what happens. You'll be expired just like your battery on your watch.
Wow.
Thank you, Madam President.
I have a new favorite insult.
Keep laughing. Watch what happens. You'll be expired just like your battery on your watch.
You're going to be expired just like the battery on your watch.
Her and throwing around the term bona fide. I'm picking up so many things that I'm going to lay down later on today.
I like that one. I've been flying you for 8 years. I've seen you do all kinds of illegal stuff.
Right, so you turn this plane around and take me back to my phone.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Thankfully,
did they turn around and take her back to the air marshal? Or?
I'm always pretty blown away when I see these videos of airplanes and somebody who's quite clearly losing their mind over something like this. I'm amazed at how everyone stays so calm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, and I'm not saying this for any, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't know that I wouldn't stand up and just say, you're going to sit down real quick or we're going to have a problem. Right. I just don't want a problem in an airplane.
Right.
If you're having a meltdown or a freak out, sit down sit down and put a blanket over your face and cry and weep and do all that. Piss yourself, but shut the hell up about it.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of other people that aren't your problem and you're not their problem and now you're making it your problem and we're all in a tube at 30,000 feet.
Right, exactly. I don't think the plane's going to go into a nosedive, but this isn't a store. You're not going to get kicked out. We're all going to have to frickin' land in Omaha or somewhere.
That's it, exactly.
And it's going to greatly inconvenience me, and I don't want this in my life. So, yeah, freak out when you get to the gate before you get on the plane. Go nuts.
Yeah, you left your phone behind. Your life is now inconvenienced, and you think that should impact the other 100 people on the plane? Sorry.
Well, sometimes it's just good old-fashioned anxiety, and then the crazy comes out. This is one of my favorites.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. But I am telling you right now that back there is not real, and you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
You know what I love most about that is she's actually pointing at a guy she was sitting next to.
Yeah,
he's not real.
He's
and
not real.
And he looks so Minnesota Midwestern. He's just not. I might not be. I'm sorry.
Well, don't blow my cover.
I wish I was more real for you then.
If that was me, if a woman jumped up and started freaking out and saying that I was not a real person and pointing at me, I think the thing to do is you sit there and you just get a vacant stare and just start mumbling words that make no sense.
Yeah, go with it.
Like you're having a short circuit, like your circuitry's off.
Have a little fun with it. And how about this one? Some people just get really insulted.
Pieces of mediocre your life. You make yourself feel good, making $60,000 a year. You feel good your wife with your 5-inch.
Are you done yet?
Yeah. Stand up.
Okay, stand up.
You feel good with your job making $60,000 a year
and your 5-inch.
Oh my God, man. Whew. I tell you what, Spirit Airlines had an incident the other day. Check this out. 2 women, Tara and Teresa, 2 buddies from California, got on board a flight to New Orleans. And as they're sitting on the plane, it was very warm. And so they both took off, they had like sweaters, and they took them off, revealing shirts they were midriff bearing.
Okay.
So they're in their seats. You can see their tummies, just a little bit of stomach showing, one of them said. A male flight attendant walked up behind one of the 2 women and said, "Hey, I'm going to need you to put something on." She said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "You need to cover up."
What, just the midriff?
The midriff, the 2 midriffs.
See that everywhere.
They started to say, like, "What are you talking about?" A third passenger who was seated behind them saw what was happening and said, "Well, hang on, sir, what are you doing?" And the guy said, "We have a dress code. It's inappropriate for them to be dressed like that." And the third woman said, "Well, then I guess I'm inappropriate too." And she took her sweater off and said, "Well, here's my midriff. You're going to throw me off the plane?" And the guy said, "You will all be removed if you don't cover up again."
It's sexy time.
The second time, I mean, the woman who jumped in, so you get 2 friends who are being accused of, inappropriate dress. A third woman gets involved. That third woman was actually on the plane with her toddler. So now you have 4 people, and Spirit asked all 4 of them to leave, and they kicked them off the plane.
It's freaking Spirit Airlines, you budget nimrods. Just be happy someone's getting on your freaking plane.
I didn't know there was such thing as an airline dress code.
I mean, you hear about this every once in a while if someone's dressed. I mean, particularly they've got a butt cheek or 2 hanging out or something like that, I guess. But, yeah, not one or both, I guess. But midriff, that's pretty common these days for crying out loud.
It's entirely common. And then, by the way, they're sitting in seats. You know how many people can see them at any one time? Maximum 4 other passengers. passengers, maybe.
Right, yeah.
You can't see what people are wearing unless you're sitting next to them.
Pick your battle, Spirit Airline, or else
You'll be expired just like your battery on your watch.
Damn straight. Imagine being the flight. But here's my thing. You're the flight attendant who went through with that. Imagine, how was your day today, honey? It's pretty good, except these damn women with their midriffs.
There was bear skin everywhere.
It made me so sick to my stomach, I had to go to the bathroom 3 times. Little horny pervert, weird creepo dude. That's what that tells me. I can't control myself if I can see your navel.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to cover up, by God.
What about the chubby guy who's got the too skin-tight Viking jersey? When he moves, it slides up. Expose his bare midriff.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. You mean the often forgotten and overlooked poor suffering Vikings fan. That's exactly right. What about me? That would be his version of this. Hang on. You have a problem with their midriff? You don't even care. I'm wearing, this is an honest to God Dante Culpepper real jersey. What am I, just chopped liver over here?
Spare tires hanging out, sir.
Good Lord. Hey, Motley Crue just announced that they have a brand new Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM next spring. And you know what we want to do? We want to send you out there. One winner is going to score a trip for 2 to Las Vegas, including round-trip air, a 2-night stay at Park MGM, and 2 tickets to see the Crue, the Las Vegas residency. 10 runner-up winners will get Motley Crue's new EP, Canceled, on vinyl, plus the Dr. Feelgood 35th Anniversary Limited Edition box set. All you got to do, text the national keyword CRUE, C-R-U-E, to 95819 for a chance to win. Whoa! Get on it, baby. The top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
Miami, I don't know, it was a couple years ago, so I guess just would not be the word, but I was working there with Fox when Hurricane George hit the Keys. I just thought this was kind of funny. They evacuated the Keys, and everybody left except for, I've been through 2 hurricanes. I was in Hurricane Carla when I was a kid in Houston, and I was real excited during hurricane time, you know, because it's out there in the Gulf and it's dangerous, and I was like, this is cool, until started hitting our house, and I was like, this. But anyway, they evacuated the Keys, and everybody leaves except for one guy who's going to stay there and tie himself to a tree on the beach to prove a point. And the point was, he said that at 53 years of age, he was in good enough physical condition to withstand the wind and the rain from a Force 3 hurricane. All right. Let me explain something to you. It isn't that the wind is blowing. It's what the wind is blowing. If you get hit with a Volvo, it doesn't really matter how many sit-ups you did that morning.
I was thinking if you get hit with a basketball, he went straight to the Volvo.
Yeah.
Very good point. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Tuesday, October 15th, and that, in case you're wondering, was Ron White. And on our top 5 at 9, number 5, Ron White will be at Treasure Island in April, and we would like to give you a shot right now to win some tickets. Right now, if you text the keyword BLUE, B-L-E-U, to 651-989-ROCK. 651-989-ROCK, the KQ Talk and Text line. Text the keyword BLUE. You are in the queue, as it were. You have a chance to win tickets to see Ron White at Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
Blue's my boy.
Funny dude, man.
Yeah.
There's your first of your top 5 at 9. Number 4.
Just real quick, they're going on sale Friday. If you're not feeling lucky, you can buy tickets to Ron White, who is going to be at Treasure Island Resort and Casino Event Center on April 19th.
That's all the information I forgot to say. Thank you, Ryder.
Yup.
And by the way, speaking of forgot to say, hey, Ryder, remember earlier in the show when I asked if you'd ever freaked out and you gave us a story about someone at Target freaking out on you?
Yeah.
Well, It's funny. I noticed on the KQ Talk and Text line, Jim, a guy named Jim wrote, Ryder Ryder lost her cool after a car broadsided her on her way to work at Target. I arrived on the scene. Cop told me she wanted to fight the other driver.
Man, I had a full tank of gas in that thing, too.
Oh, don't you hate that?
Man.
Yeah, right before Sid the Kid totaled the Monte Carlo the week before, new tires.
Oh, boy.
Turns out you can't take those off. You have to buy the whole selvage if you want the tires
That's
back.
terrible.
So you wanted to go Fist of Fury on who? Describe the other driver to me. 6'5", 320 pounds.
No, it was another girl I was going to high school with. I didn't really know her that well. There were a lot of people at Lakeville High in 2001, so yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, T-Bone, that's a traumatic thing.
Yeah, it is.
It was. I was very shaken up.
Of course you were. We've all been there, and we all thought, I'm going to kick that high school girl's ass right over there. Yeah, we all know. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. Get ready for the ranch. We all like ranch dressing, some of us more than others. Some of us love ranch dressing. Some of us are addicted to ranch dressing. And if you're one of those, go to Burger King. What? Yeah, that's right. Burger King and Hidden Valley Ranch are teaming up to give out tubs of ranch with sandwiches at some select locations. Here's what the deal is. They've just got these 8-ounce, that's a lot of ranch, 8 ounces, 8-ounce tubs that they're just going to be giving away at certain Burger Kings. You can take that Whopper and you can dip that bad boy right in there and just cover it with all that delicious ranchy ranch. You have to request the tubs, but they are in stock. But however, I'm looking at the cities listed. I don't see Minneapolis or St. Paul, or for that matter, anywhere in Minnesota or Wisconsin. I'm seeing Chicago is the closest place to get your tub of ranch at a Burger King.
Or do they feel like they just don't have that much ranch available to them, that it would be like some sort of chaotic riot or something?
Well, yeah, if you open up the ranch party in Minnesota, you better have some ranch. You know, that whole thing about did you bring enough for everybody? The answer is it's not possible.
Now, can you ask for an extra tub of ranch when you get your Whopper?
If you find one, you probably can. But I'm just saying, I think they did a little market research and realized there's not enough ranch on earth to satisfy everybody in Minnesota.
Could I substitute my drink for ranch?
God, you know what? There's always, I love the commitment to ranch.
I went to a fast food place, which I'm not going to name. I don't want to embarrass them. And I got cheese curds and a strawberry shake, like I like to do.
Okay.
And I said, and of course, I'll have side ranch with that. And they said, you know what? We're actually out of ranch. I said, well, then I'll have a strawberry shake. You don't want the cheese curds? I'm like, your cheese curds aren't that good.
Oh, boy.
I wanted them to get the ranch in my mouth.
What you needed was, you just needed a vehicle for the ranch. You didn't care what it was.
That's right.
You just needed somebody to carry you home. We're all just trying to walk each other home, ranch or not.
Right.
Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. A gentleman in the country of Wales. His name is James Howells. He's very famous in the world of crypto. This man is an IT engineer, and he, back in 2009, mined a few of his own Bitcoin that he had purchased, about 8,000 of them. In 2009, when he mined them, they were worthless. He kind of forgot about it. He remembered when crypto blew up a few months after, in 2013, he threw away a hard drive. Uh-oh. He came across a hard drive in 2013, cleaning his desk. He goes, there's nothing on here I need. He threw it away. Boom, crypto explodes a few months later, and he goes, I think my Bitcoin was on that hard drive. It was. His 8,000 Bitcoin from 2009 are worth today over $500 million.
Oh, my God.
He dropped a hard drive in the bin, as they call it, and now, in the town in Wales where he lives, there is a giant landfill where all the garbage goes. Yeah. And for years, he's been begging the city to let me go dig through the landfill. They're not interested in letting him do that.
Why is the whole town not out there with him, spade in hand, digging through the landfill? Here's the lovable loser.
When I arrived yesterday, they basically told me that anything that goes into the household scrap bin is compressed and buried. I just wish I could go back in time and throw that drive away. Is it still working? can the data be recovered? When I went up to the landfill site yesterday, my first thought was, I've got no chance.
Yeah, he's got a group of people who are willing to dig through the landfill.
Yeah.
You know, like an excavation company. He's like, yeah, we'll go find that bad boy.
Yeah.
He's promised them, if they were to find it, about $13 million. He's offered the town $50 million. Just let me dig in there. I'll give you $50 million. The town said, if we dig up that much trash, it'll cause an environmental disaster to the surrounding area.
Piss posh.
It'll take 3 years of digging and then another year to bury it all again.
Well, I mean, we're talking about millions, hundreds of millions of dollars here, boys and girls. I'll tell you what, that Oak Island fiasco, I don't know, is that series still going, by the way?
Still going, yeah.
Really? They're still looking for that? Oh, my God.
What is that?
Oak Island, it's this reality series, and I watched, half of the first season and realized this was going to go on into perpetuity. And it's still, 15 years later? I'm just guessing.
Hunting. Give the guy a metal detector or a Bitcoin sniffing dog.
I would watch this reality show. They're out there digging through the landfill. It could be a bit like, Antique Roadshow meets Oak Island. The hunt for the treasure. This guy's going to take it to his effing grave. It's 2009. It's 2024. And he's like, God, please.
15 years of just, my God, what happened? Well, I guess in 13 is when he threw it away. So 11 years of knowing. I mean, that is truly the story of the guy who had the Powerball ticket and tore it in half celebrating, which happened. I mean, a guy won a lottery ticket. He was like, and he was shaking. He was holding it, and he was freaking out, and he ripped it. And they do not accept it if it's marked up at all. If you tear the corner off that bad boy, it's like, sorry, it's voided. You are seconds away from changing your multi-generational wealth.
Yeah.
And you tear that lottery ticket. Oof. Or in this case, threw out a hard drive. What kind of IT software engineer throws out a hard drive?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It must have had something incriminating on it where he felt like he had to destroy it. Oh, and 8,000 Bitcoin.
By the way, what if... That's a great point. What if this is all a ruse? What if there's actually something else he's trying to make sure no one ever comes across? Maybe or what if it's just photos that he misses and he's pretending it's Bitcoin and he'll find it and he's going to go, oh, no, it doesn't work. Sorry, I don't get to pay you because it was a contingency. I guess there's only nothing on here except that photo of me playing soccer I always loved. There's something. Who knows? That'd be quite a scam.
Of his girlfriend that he suddenly wants back.
Yeah, no kidding. I didn't want to say anything. You know how the Welsh are. I don't even know what that means. Just thought it'd be funny to say.
That'd be tough to get some sleep, wouldn't it, man? I think, if you're going to turn to the bottle, that might be the good reason right there.
I would, that'd be a long swim in the bottle for me. I'm telling you right now. Number 3, speaking of long swimming in the bottles, number 2 on your top 5 at 9, the Great American Beer Festival just went down in Denver, and 3 Minnesota breweries took home some hardware. Check this out. Ursa Minor Brewing's Equanimity won the bronze in the Irish-style red ale category. I'm a fan of Irish red, so I'm going to have to try that. Our Beater Brewing Company's Ha Ha Pils won gold in the German-style Pilsner category. Also a fan of Pils. It looks like I got to pick me up some Ha Ha Pils from our Beater. And then Northbound Smokehouse and Brew Pub's Eisbach won gold in the German-style Doppelbock or Eisbach category. 2 golds and a bronze for Minnesota brewers. There were 9,000 beers entered into the Great American Beer Festival.
These are breweries and beers that I couldn't pronounce after 1 or 2 of their beers.
Sure, right.
Not getting any easier, are they?
I would. These all sound great to me, and because I went through like I think a lot of us probably. Sometime in the 90s, you look around and you notice, like, man, there's all these micropubs are blowing up everywhere, and there's all these microbrews, and there's all these independent breweries. I love beer, and I got into all the kind of beers in the world. And about 8 years ago, my taste buds just were like, can we just go back to like when it was just real simple and it was just called beer?
Just cold.
And it wasn't porter or lager or ale or pills or Bock. It was just beer.
But not all the way back. I mean, the piss water I grew up on, Milwaukee's Best and Stroh's. I mean, even the fine light beers here and the Millers and the Budweisers or whatever. I mean, it's just once you go into flavor. I'm not an IPA guy. I don't like the real bitter taste. I don't want any fruit in my beer, although I do dig me a Leinie's Shandy in the summer. But I do like a good German beer, just a real good beer with some flavor. And these breweries...
any beer, a good indicator of a great beer is you're not in a hurry to finish it, and you don't think you need to have 11 more.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes I just want 11, so I go to the Miller Lite, and sometimes I just want to sip and think, wow, this is centuries of brewmasters' hard work and efforts, and then I say, you just need one, and then I still have 4 or 5. That's how that works.
That puts you down.
Number 1 on your top 5 at 9. Congratulations are in order to Anoka, Minnesota's Travis Ginger. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry, Trav. I think it's Ginger. My man, yet again, has come in at the Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Way Off in California. That's right, Pumpkin Way Off. My man grows ginormous pumpkins. Now, last year, he won the World Championship Way Off with a 2,700-pound behemoth that he named Michael Jordan. This year, he didn't top Michael Jordan, but he still topped every other pumpkin. His 2024 entry, he named the pumpkin Rudy. Rudy checked in at 2,471 pounds.
Wow.
A gourd that is 2,471. He beat the nearest competitor by 6 pounds, which is not that much.
They can't be broken, much like your lottery ticket. They cannot be broken. So, I mean, transporting something like this on cranes and flatbeds. I did a little Googling earlier. 2,400 pounds, roughly the weight of an average rhinoceros or Tomahawk missile.
I'll take the pumpkin over either. I feel safer with a pumpkin in the room than either a rhino or a missile.
It's got to be like Linus sleeping out in the pumpkin patch with this thing.
Man, that is incredible. For the winning grower, the prize is $30,000 plus $9 per pound.
Holy crap.
So that's 30 plus 9, total $52,239 is what he's bringing. Yowza.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
About a lot of pumpkin seeds.
No, that is a lot of that's just sensational is what that is. I'm trying to think, have I ever grown anything? Yes, I've had a few plants over the years, planted flowers in the bed, done all that sort of stuff. The biggest thing I could ever, I planted a young dogwood, tiny little dogwood tree that has now grown to be, 12 feet tall. I'm sure it does not weigh 2,400 pounds. And it's a tree, for God's sakes.
Right.
This is like a Pinto. This is like a Ford Pinto in your backyard.
Oh, yeah. This would weigh right in there with some of your lighter vehicles.
Man, that's outstanding work. Anyway, congrats to Minnesota's very own pumpkin champion. Biggest pumpkin your dad ever grew. What do you think it probably was?
Over 400 pounds. He did weigh that. Took her into the South Dakota State Fair and came in like 400 and whatever it was.
That's a stout
pumpkin.
That
was a big pumpkin, too.
Hell yeah. It's the size of a damn mule.
I mean, you could stick this pumpkin and several more in Rudy.
Wow. Rudy the Pumpkin.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.